So I made a mistake. I thought we were doing 9.1 today, but we're actually doing 7.5 because I forgot I moved 7.5 from 7, chapter 7, and do it with chapter 9, which is all about solving quadratic equations. We just finished graphing, how to graph a quadratic, all the different ways, whether it's vertex form, whether it's picking your values of x as 0, positive, negative 1, positive, negative 2, or having those values shift because of your linear term. Well, chapter 9 is all about how to solve a quadratic, and there are 5 ways you're going to learn. The first way we're going to learn is solving a quadratic by factoring. So no, we are not done by factoring. This is going to help us when we solve by graphing, which is going to be really good. So here we go. 7.5, solve quadratics by factoring. All right, so here we go. I'm going to do a lesson. Manny. Here we go. Solve by factoring. All right. Sorry, there was a little glitch there. Now, your quadratic is in standard form when it has ax squared plus bx plus c. Highest to lowest, left to right. But you're going to hear about factored form today. So when you have a quadratic in factored form, that would be, an example of the quantity x plus 3 times the quantity x minus 2. Something like that. When it's in factored form, then you can actually start to solve them, meaning you're going to find the values of x that make this equation true. There's a little bit of noise going on, but hopefully you guys can hear me. So there's this product, there's this property we use called the zero product property. This is going to help us solve our equations. Okay, zero product property. Okay, so if you have the quantity A times the quantity B, okay, it doesn't matter what A is, doesn't matter what B is. You can have a binomial, you can have a monomial, that part doesn't matter. But if you have two things being multiplied and their product is 0, what that means is either A or B is going to be 0. Okay, one or the other has to be 0. You cannot have both A and B be 0. Okay, so only one can be 0, the other one has to be something else. Okay, and this product property helps us solve the quadratic. And you're going to now have 2 values of x that make it possible, or 1 value of x that make the equation possible, or no solutions. So we've been working on that. Now, you have another vocabulary term. Vocabulary. My mind is not on algebra right now. I just got done with practice, and so I've got lots going on in my brain. New definition, roots. There's about 5 different ways we could say this. But what this is, these are the answers to a quadratic. Okay, your book says solutions to a polynomial equation, which is solutions. So really, it's the answers to a quadratic. Okay, they're called roots. So it's just what you get when you solve this quadratic, when you set each polynomial to zero and then solving. And you're going to see how we do that today. It's actually pretty fast, but you do have to factor first. Now, these are also known as, AKA, x-intercepts. That's my favorite. Okay, x-intercepts. It's also known as solutions. It's also known as zeros. You're going to use the word zeros more when you guys are in Algebra 2. You can have roots of the function. You can have zeros of the equation. Zeros of the equation. Yeah, I think that's all of them. But a lot of different ways of saying the same thing. What you'll hear me say in class most of the time is x-intercepts or roots or zeros. Oh, you might see real roots. Real, because those are all the numbers you study in Algebra 1. When you get to Algebra 2, then that's when you get introduced to imaginary numbers. So this one's not used as much this year. You will see it more in Algebra 2. Okay? So all these different ways of calling just the answers to solving a quadratic. So make sure you have that pink. You can do that blue if you want. I don't care. So here we go. Example 1. So we're going to actually solve these equations. So we're going to balance and solve them. So we have, and my book's over here. So we're going to start out with them already in factored form. So if it's already in factored form, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so we have the quantity x times quantity x plus 8 equals 0. In this problem right here, a is x and b is x plus 8. So what you're going to do, we're going to find the two answers to this. So you're going to set both polynomials, meaning x is one of your polynomials and x plus 8 is your other polynomial. Set them both to 0 and then balance and solve. Well, the first one, since it's just x, you're going to set it to 0. So we have x equals 0, which there's nothing to do there. And then x plus 8 equals 0. Okay, so that's already one solution. That's, oh my gosh, I froze. Lucky you.